Welcome to This Week in Morgan County. I'm your host, Russell Mokhiber. Our guest this week is George Farnham. George is the founder and owner of Give Purrs a Chance, a cat cafe right here in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. George, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're a cat guy.
I'm an animal person, but cat primarily.
Cat primarily. What made you want to open a cat cafe?
When I first heard about the first cat cafe that opened in the U.S. in Oakland 2.5 years ago, I immediately contacted Lori Fisher and said, we have to do this here in Berkeley Springs. And it's taken 2 years to put it all together, but we're opening Mother's Day weekend on May 12th, and we're doing a Catillion
Wait, hold on. First of all, let's back up a little bit. What is a cat cafe?
Cat cafe started in Japan about 15 years ago, where people generally don't have enough space to own animals in the privacy of their own home. So they go to cat cafes where they can eat and play with cats. The cats are not for adoption. The trend went through Asia and Europe, and about 2 years ago ended up in Oakland, where it was transformed into cat cafes in the US are all for cat adoptions. And that was the first one about 2 years ago, and now there's about 50 in the country, and they're all in major metropolitan areas. And we're going to be the first one in a rural area in the country.
In a rural area. It started in East Asia, Japan, in cities that were very crowded. And people didn't have the opportunity to have cats in their places of residence, in their apartments and condos and so forth.
As pets now.
As pets. So they went to these cat cafes to be with cats.
Basically just to hang out with cats, and in Japan you don't have the health regulations you have here in the US, so they allow the cats to be while you're eating dinner or lunch or whatever, and you can play with the cats at that time.
Right.
But the cats are not for adoption, and that's what really switched in the US is they became adoption agencies, but we all ran into health department regulations that make it a lot more difficult.
Right, but I mean, in terms of this is the first rural cat cafe, and the idea in Japan was you're in a big city, but so out here it's open spaces pretty much. You can have cats everywhere. You have cats, right?
I have plenty of cats at my house.
You have plenty of cats.
Personally, I have a private sanctuary for senior cats at my house, where I only rescue cats that have generally been abandoned or their owners have died. So yeah, I do have a large number of cats, but we'll probably have a greater number of cats at the cafe than I have at my house.
Will you take some of the cats from your sanctuary to the cafe?
No, those are my personal pets.
How many do you have?
30.
You have 30 cats. And how exactly, this cat cafe is at 51 Independence Street.
Correct,
and
right downtown.
Right downtown. How exactly is the cat cafe going to work?
It's split into two sections. The main part of the building is where we'll be doing our cat yoga classes, cat music nights, cat dancing nights. That's where the Cat Boutique will be set up, and that's where the 30 to 40 cats that are for adoption will be. And people will pay a small admission price to come in and play with the cats for as long as they like. We also have a separate entrance to the cafe portion where we'll have an Alice in Wonderland themed room where we're doing weekly teas, and we also have a food truck set up outside from lot 12 where people can get food and come into the cafe part and dine, and the cats will be in that section of the cafe behind a closed, airtight container where they're in the kitchen, but you can't touch them.
Lot 12 will have a food truck?
Lot 12 is running the food truck in our front yard.
What's the name of the food truck?
I believe they're just calling it Lot 12.
Food truck. And what kind of food will they be selling?
I believe they're doing barbecue. They'll have beef, pork, and chicken barbecued 7 days a week, and side dishes and side salads that all be prepared up at Lot 12 and transported to the food truck.
That food truck, that's going to be a big draw because Lot 12's got a great reputation.
We're ecstatic
up and down the
that
East
we
Coast.
Negotiated to deal with them, and they're setting up in our front lawn. It's huge for us.
And what are the hours of the food truck?
I believe they'll be open 11 to 6, 7 days a week.
And what about the cat cafe?
Pretty much the same time. We'll be 11 to 5, plus we'll be doing yoga in the mornings before we open, and sometimes in the afternoon or evenings.
People will go to the food truck even if they're not interested in cats. And they'll be able to do that, right?
They can go to the food truck. They'll have their own tables outside. We have our own tables on the wraparound porch. And on the cafe, we'll have about seating for 16. So They can eat any of those 3 locations, or they can take it away.
If you want to go to the food truck and eat at the cafe, do you pay the entrance fee?
There's no entrance fee to the cafe part where you're eating, but you can come around after you eat and pay the entrance fee to come into the cafe and play with the cats and stay as long as you like.
When is opening day?
We're opening May 12th, a Mother's Day weekend. That's a Friday, and we're doing a cotillion dinner dance the night before at the Country Inn.
What is a cotillion?
Cotillion is the opening night party. It's going to be both a dinner and a dance. We're going to be making our music video that night and streaming live on Facebook. So if they can't be there in person, you can watch us on Facebook and watch us make our video.
In terms of the marketing, you're targeting cat people.
Absolutely.
People who love cats. And how many cat people are there? I mean, in the United States, how many people are going to be excited about the fact that there's a cat cafe on 522?
There's 86 million pet cats in the United States, and cat people are crazier than dog people, so they really do get excited. When Oakland opened their cafe 2 years ago, they had a waiting list where they were sold out for 6 weeks in advance of 140 people a day coming into the cafe. That was just a reservation. Crumbs and Whiskers in DC, the cat cafe in Georgetown, where they charge $22 admission, is sold out from the time they open to the time they close. We have a much lower admission fee, and we're letting people stay all day. We won't have the same attendance as those places, but we think we're going to get a lot of people, not only that live locally and come tourists from Baltimore and Washington, but we think we have a tremendous draw to day trippers within a 50, 60-mile radius from Chambersburg, Hagerstown, Winchester, Cumberland. We've been hearing from people in all these areas that are so excited about coming to Berkeley Springs and spending the day at the Cat Cafe and in Berkeley Springs in general. So we think we're going to be a tremendous draw to the community for new people that have never been here before. And yeah, they will be cat people, and yeah, we're confident they're coming.
There is a huge picture of a cat out front right now.
Depends on your definition of huge, but yes, it is 7 feet tall.
Did you have any issues with the town or the county on that picture?
Not that I'm aware of.
Nothing. Okay. And who did that picture?
It was done by Michelle Summers of Front Royal, Virginia. She's done all our artwork. She did our logo. She's done the 3 signs in front of the building. She did the cotillion poster. She's doing a wall inside. She's been our #1 artist. She's just been fantastic. Has done everything on a volunteer basis.
How did you find her?
Originally, she was my vet assistant for my home vet that came to my house, and she's been painting personally for me for 4 years. Inside my house doing murals and my statues outside my house. So I've had a long relationship with Michelle, and there was never any doubt that she was going to be our artist who did our logo.
Now, when you say statues outside your house, you have probably one of the most unusual properties in the area. Tell us about it.
In the area? I own Fantasy Farm amusement park on my front property, which has a large number of oversized fiberglass statues from 16 feet to 25 feet. There's a roller coaster in my front yard. There's a train. It is an interesting place.
And people come from up and down the East Coast to see it. And it's considered. How do people know about it? And it's like a roadside attraction kind of place.
There's a website called Roadside America that features all the fiberglass statues in the country, and they have a map to everywhere. And we get dozens of people that travel, sometimes hundreds of miles, to come to my house and photograph the statues.
Your artist, what's her name again?
Michelle Summers.
And she drew Purrs the cat out front.
Correct.
And she also made a tattoo for you. This is a permanent tattoo, if we could get a shot of this, of Purrs the cat, and you have it.
That is my permanent tattoo that Michelle drew, and our board of directors, which is known as the Meowphia, was all required to get a tattoo of a cat before they could join the board of directors, so this was mine.
Who's on the board?
Lori Fisher and Jackie Lewis, and they're my board of directors, and yeah, Lori got a cat tattoo, and so did Jackie, and Jackie and I, it was our first cat tattoos, or tattoos of any type, so.
And you're the owner of Give Purrs a Chance.
I'm the owner and the president, yes, and Lori and Jackie are the board members.
And it's a for-profit?
At the moment, it's a for-profit. We've filed with the IRS. Our nonprofit status is pending, and we should have that in a month or two, but we're opening as a for-profit business, and that will make the transformation. And
admission is how much?
$5 for local West Virginia residents and $7 for non-residents.
So you show your driver's license? or you just take,
We'll take their word on
yeah.
it.
What makes a cat person a cat person? Now, what you said earlier, and did you mean this seriously, that cat people are crazier than other people?
I think they're crazier than dog people. I mean, they're both pretty crazy in terms of their pets, but cat owners generally own more cats than dog people. Dog people generally own one dog. Cat people are crazier like me and have up to 30. I know people that have 50. They're just more, cats are their life. So we're a little more intense and a little more crazy than the dog people and the non-animal people who don't understand us at all.
And if you were to break down, let's say, American society into cat people, dog people, and non-pet people, what do you think roughly are the percentages?
Most people claim they love animals. There's probably a few more dog lovers than there are cat lovers, but again, the cat people are more intense and they tend to have more animals than the dog people.
And in terms of personality and human characteristics, other than craziness, what are the characteristics that differentiate cat people from dog people?
I think animal people in general just have better souls. They're kinder people. I'm the type of person that judges a person by how they treat animals. If they treat animals kindly, they're a friend of mine. I don't care their religious, political views or anything else. So yeah, that's just how I judge people in general. I prefer animal people to non-animal people.
Is this a nonpartisan? Are animal lovers across the political spectrum?
Absolutely. I would say half the Purrs people voted for Trump, half voted for Clinton. Religious, it's everything. There's just no rhyme or reason to cat people. They cut across every political spectrum, every age group, income bracket, any way you want to divide it up. There's animal lovers in any category you can name.
Because you use it, if I understand you correctly, you're judging people based on whether they love animals or not.
No, I prefer animal lovers to non-animal lovers.
You prefer to be with them?
I prefer to be with them. I think people that are kind to animals, it tells what their personality is to a large degree. People that are mean to animals, I don't deal with in life.
But what about people who are indifferent to animals?
I'm fine with them.
And it's interesting because George, we've known each other for a long time. We were engaged in political campaigns and so forth. And what I hear you saying is that if you love animals, you're a more compassionate, decent person.
Potentially.
But on the other hand, what I hear you saying is it doesn't actually come out in politics because it crosses the political spectrum.
Absolutely.
And then, so you think in the bottom line is loving an animal doesn't translate into human compassion, or does it?
I think it does,
But from your experience, animal lovers, can animal lovers, and you know what I'm talking about here, can animal lovers be kind to animals and cruel to humans?
generally not. Generally, people that abuse human beings started out abusing animals. It's a great indicator. So again, the way you treat animals is, to me, how I view you as a human being. It doesn't mean you're a bad human being if you're not compassionate to animals. I just take it as a positive sign if you are.
Let's talk a little bit nuts and bolts about how this came about. Did you purchase the building?
I purchased the building. I'm leasing it back to Purrs at $1 a year. So yeah.
And who owned the building? Give us a little history of the building. Tell us about the building. And give us a little history about like who owned it, what was there before, so that people in the area know what we're talking about.
The building's right at 51 Independence Street. It's known as the Coral Building. It was built around 1920 by the Hunter hardware family. They built three buildings next to each other. The bank tore one down. And they were built as summer homes for the Hunter family. They were meant to live in year-round. In the 80s and 90s, Anna Jo and David Crosby owned the building. Anna Jo was the founder of the Humane Society of Morgan County. She had about 20 cats in the building at the time and was notorious for bringing every black cat from the Humane Society home and releasing them in the backyard there. There were dozens of black cats, and it was never known whether her husband David ever figured out that she kept bringing them home or not. But the cats were dozens and dozens of them, and we've even had paranormal experiences that we think is Anna Jo coming back and approving of what we're doing as the Cat Cafe. So Tina
They've
Byers,
now, are they passed now? Yeah, did you know them back then?
I knew Anna Jo vaguely from when she was doing the Humane Society, but I wasn't close with her. But yeah, she was an incredible animal lover and a cat person particularly. So Tina Byers, our pro bono attorney who's done our legal work, basically grew up in that building. She grew up, lived 2 doors down, and Anna Jo taught her about animals. And Tina's always said our building has cat karma, and we think we've even had the paranormal experiences with Anna Jo coming back to visit us. So there is a great history of the building. I bought it from the Andrew Gosling estate. He bought it from the Crosbys, and it's been a vegetarian restaurant, a spa center, and many other incarnations over the years, but it's basically been vacant for the last decade.
And is it the pink? Is it a pink building or is it
Coral pink,
coral
salmon,
pink?
everyone calls it a different color, but it's across from Maria's, right on Independence Street, right behind Citibank.
Across from Maria's Garden.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the renovation like? How was it? Did you have to do serious renovation, or was it in pretty good shape?
The building was in great shape. What scared everyone away about not buying the building over the years was the 27 single paned glass that the heat sort of just went right out the building. Incredibly, 24 of the 27 storm windows were in the garage. They'd just been down for 40 years and no one had put them up.
And did you put them? I mean, you're going to put them up in the winter, obviously.
We put them up the day we bought the house.
And did you have to do painting and that kind of renovation?
Not a whole lot. We're painting on the inside, decorating with cats on the walls, and putting up a lot of cat shelves and things that we're doing specifically for the cafe. But the building itself was just in incredibly good shape. It's a wonderful, beautiful building.
Well, how long have you had this idea?
The day I read the first article in the New York Times.
Which was
2 years ago, January, on the Oakland cafe opening, which was the first in the United States. And I sent it to Lori and said, we're doing this in Berkeley Springs, and we did it.
That was 2 years ago. And were there any other candidates for where this would go?
We went through 7 buildings over a year and a half, and we ended up getting what we think is the best building in town. We're just joyous with it, but yeah, we've been through 68 name changes and 7 different buildings before we ended up where we ended up.
Where are the cats coming from?
We're partnered with 3 different rescue groups, Neighborhood Cats out of Kearneyville, West Virginia. We're working with Have a Heart Rescue in Cumberland, Maryland, and Missy Smith's Rescue in Cumberland, Maryland also. And they're all great no-kill rescues. And we're going to start with about 30 to 40 cats when we open.
How is this different? I mean, the bottom line is you want to rescue cats and you want good homes for them.
We're trying to adopt out cats to good homes. So our philosophy on doing that is to try and put a smile on people's face before they ever walk in the building, and then really knock them on their rear end when they're inside. We're trying to make the whole adoption experiences fun experiences people can have. So we've already heard from people that want to adopt cats that are going to drive here from Manassas and elsewhere just so they can have the experience of being in our cat cafe and adopting one of our cats. So the overall goal and the only measure of success for us is how many cats we adopt out in the next year. How much fun we have, how many people come through is meaningless in the end if we don't adopt cats out.
And is this going to be a break-even proposition for you? You're hoping to sell enough tickets so that you can pay for your expenses and so forth?
We will be a nonprofit, so is that. We're not trying to make a profit. Yes, we think we'll be sustainable and be able, between the yoga classes and the general admission and the Alice in Wonderland cafes and the music nights and the dancing nights and the profits that we make from the Catique Boutique and our mail order business, that we can sustain ourselves and keep going.
I mean, now you talked about yoga and art. Tell us about cat yoga. How does cat yoga work?
If anyone's never seen a video of cat yoga, they're pretty incredible. Cats love yoga. They love slow motion. They love to climb on people while they're doing yoga. They love to head bonk them. So we will, in the yoga classes, with about 10 to 12 people, we'll have about 15 cats in the room with them, and the cats will interact with the people while they're doing the yoga. So cat people are really excited about being able to do yoga with cats.
And is this primarily going to be not a Morgan County-based business? Most of the people coming to this are going to come from out of town?
It's a combination. We're both going to have a lot of local people who are really excited and giving us good feedback. We're going to be working on the tourists, and our main way of trying to draw people here is get in the 50, 60-mile radius in every direction, the people that will day trip and come here. So we're in the process of doing rack cards and hope to have 100,000 rack cards out over the course of the year. And social media is going to be huge for us, and we'll be using print media and TV media. But once we think we get the word out, we think we'll not only be dealing with the locals and the tourists that are already coming, but we'll be attracting a large number of day trippers that'll be treating this as a destination, just coming to Berkeley Springs to go to the Cat Cafe, and then when they're here, they'll visit the whole town and hopefully come back.
Who's the cat yoga teacher?
We're using Yeti and Hiroko. Ruben, right here at the Ice House, will be our primary teachers. We'll probably have other ones also.
Are they cat people?
Absolutely.
What, is there a special liability issue here? I mean, do you have insurance problems?
As with any business, it's, business insurance and commercial insurance is higher, but no problem.
No problem. Like what I'm envisioning, you know, you're in a yoga pose, a cat's on you, the cat scratches you, you get cat scratch fever.
I've never heard of anyone really getting cat scratch fever, but cat scratches and cat bites is a concern. There's a lot of rules and safety precautions, but people coming in are cat people. They're pretty well accustomed that they might get scratched.
Other than cat yoga, there's cat art. Is there going to be art? It's going to be an art gallery?
It's an art gallery. We hope to have as many cat-related items as they really have for sale here in the Ice House. Everything's done on commission, mostly with our local artists. We're only charging 20% commission. Our only requirement is that it has to have a cat on it. So many of our local artists are doing paintings, prints, lithographs, photographs. We have a clothing line. We have our own soap line, exclusive soap line of cat soaps. Just everything, jewelry, pottery, textiles, you name it. People do it with a cat. We'll take it on a 20% commission. We're also taking donations of cat items that we get 100% of the proceeds from. So our cat boutique is going to be pretty incredible in the amount of items that we have for sale, both art and otherwise.
Have you heard any blowback? People, for some reason, don't want the Cat Cafe?
Not so far.
Nothing, you've heard nothing negative, no?
We've gotten incredible response from the community. We're just ecstatic how happy people are that we're coming.
Positive. May 12th, grand opening.
Grand opening at the building itself, and the Catillion at the Country Inn will be the night before, where it's a dinner dance, and we encourage everybody to come to that where we're making our music video.
Thank you, George Farnham.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching This Week in Morgan County. Amazing, just unbelievable. I mean, wow.
What a story.
Cat Cafe, man. Can you imagine? I mean, you can imagine people coming from all over the area for this.